and a little bit about myself as well. Before getting crypto, I played in the NFL for the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Giants. Also before that, I played football at the University of Virginia, where I was a captain, all ACC, all conference, and had a great experience doing. Get an airdrop. If you do airdrop your NFT, we'll airdrop it right to your wallet. Show up to the game maybe an hour before, 2 hours before, and you can see shoot around.
Man,
It's different like access. Like I think the
man,
NFT should be more around access.
yeah,
Or like I'm saying, like you brought up a good point. A college coach saying, "Yo, this is how LeBron gets open." Imagine if it's LeBron from a first person point of view, and then LeBron is also doing he's speaking over it too,
man.
telling us exactly what he's looking at, exactly what he's. I attack his top foot. I attack that foot. I make sure I try to bump into this guy. Get a imagine.
Yo, what's good? This is Stu from Stu TV. I cover all things blockchain, metaverse, crypto, NFTs, all money making opportunities in the space. I got a special guest with me today. I actually met him at NFT Miami, but I'm gonna allow him to introduce himself to the viewers and the audience. What's good, man?
Dude, what's up, man?
What's going
Thanks
on?
for having me. I appreciate it. My name is Caanan Severin. From Boston. I'm located down in Miami. I work in the tech space at Coinbase on the Coinbase cloud team, specifically as a customer success manager, post sales manager for our read write nodes, for our Coinbase Pay product and our wallet as a service product. So I'm excited to be here and appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, definitely for sure, man. And yeah, I know we had met and connected at the event and different things. I know like you was one of the people I connected with on the last day. I was just it was
Mm-hmm.
really having a dope conversation in terms of just like your experience and then just how you transition into like Web3. Can you actually like walk people like through the pro like through that story? Like how did you bridge into like Web3?
Yeah, that's a good question. And a little bit about myself as well. Before getting crypto, I played in the NFL for the Pittsburgh Steelers and New York Giants. Also before that, I played football at the University of Virginia, where I was a captain, all ACC, all conference, and had a great experience doing that. And yeah, that transition was something, man. I think there is definitely something to be said playing a sport for that long, and it's like football. All that's on the brain is football. I'm sure with a basketball player, a baseball player, a soccer player, softball, gymnastics, it becomes your life if you, especially making it to that level. So um, there was a little bit of an identity crisis, to be honest, once it stopped, because it's like everyone even knows you as a football player, everyone knows you as a soccer player. So when that ends, you really kind of ask yourself, man, who am I? Like, what am I now without this sport kind of protecting me
Mm-hmm.
and where everybody knows me as? So I just wanted to make sure that I did the best I could, maximizing my resources, maximizing my network. Um, to be honest, how I got to Coinbase was through an acquisition of a startup. I got to that startup through reaching out to someone on LinkedIn. They connected me to a bunch of different platforms where, from Crunchbase to Built in Boston or Built in whatever city you're in. They have a ton of different cities for these every city, and VC platforms where they're looking for people to join startups. And I was trying to get into the post sales, partnerships, customer success side of things, and an opportunity arose once I connected with this person on LinkedIn. They really gave me a whole list. I made my profiles, and then I just started applying, and yeah, I joined a third-party blockchain provider company called Bison Trails. We were competitors with QuickNode, Blockdaemon, Alchemy, and Fura, and that was really my entrance into the tech world, and also my entrance into Web3, blockchain, crypto. So it's been life changing ever since.
Man, yeah, that's definitely just what's up. Just hearing your story, just going from like one industry and you're actually going into another industry and just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
what you mentioned before, just like reinventing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
just in a
Mm-hmm.
different way. So like that definitely is, amazing. But what can you just talk in terms of like, you know, how has your experience like been in like Web3? Just like I know you
Mm-hmm.
going to like events and like different things and like the
Yeah.
settlement, and then in terms of like how you feel for other athletes that might be in your position that be like, they might have that same similar struggle. Do you feel like this is an industry that could be, a transition for athletes to
Mm-hmm.
come into Web3?
Yeah. Um, my transition into Web3, I'll start with that question. It's been good for me because I like being with the builders. I like being with the people that are building teams, building products, building disruptive uh, products, and that part has been really cool to me. I think, especially being like in a startup, being in a startup, that reminds me of being on your everyday sports team, right? Like we know, I knew you meet with the head coach every day. You meet with your position group. You meet with like your team, focus on one mission, making sure we're all aligned, so we can all have all our noses going forward.
Yeah.
Not this way, that way, this other way. So I really latched on like to that environment, like the scrappy startup mode. I'd rather be in that than anything. I think I'm also a little biased because it's worked out for me so far. With being our startup being acquired by Coinbase, but I'd rather. It also just even shows me it's the same thing with building a championship team, the same thing with building a Super Bowl team. Whether you're Coach Tomlin for the Steelers, whether you're a startup CEO, founder, trying, head of operations, trying to make sure all your people are going the right way. We got to make sure that everyone is aligned. We got to make sure everyone knows the mission. We got to create a culture for our people, for our values, for how we move and operate,
Yeah.
for how we build, for how we communicate. Like Coach Tomlin with the Steelers, he would always say, like, we can't be world champions if we're not elite communicators. And I'm seeing that's the same thing with Coinbase. That's the same thing with startup. That's the same thing with making sure that we're getting this stuff done. So um, that's that's something I vibe with more. And from a point of view from like other athletes, was the question other athletes getting into the space or getting
Yeah.
into like tech? Or?
Yeah, would you think like other athletes would be like a opening for them to kind of
Mm,
transition, an opportunity for them to kind of like get into this industry
yeah.
post career?
Like we said, we met at Miami NFT. If you go to NFT NYC or NFT, or East Denver, you see all the teams that are being built out. And I think it goes back to just the way that I even got the job. I was someone that was hungry, that kept putting myself out there, wasn't
Mm.
afraid to hear a no, and it really just took the right person to say, yeah, we'll give you a chance, we'll give you a shot. So I think if anything, from an athlete perspective, I think it's not lack of information, but just not knowing that this is even a thing. Web3 tech can get and there's so many traits that are transferable from being an athlete that you want on your team. Like literally, we're in team building. We're in like being a college athlete or professional athlete. You're in like a
Yeah.
team building, personal growth, conference every single day. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is, right? We
Yeah.
were talking about your shirt before we went live, and we're talking about Kobe. Yeah, like is there anyone else that's like more in tune with the mission, in tune with the goal, locked in? Like imagine being a part of the Lakers, even if you're the 12th man on the Lakers, and you're watching someone that in tune with what we're trying to accomplish as a team. I feel that's the same thing as a founder. You join a team of a founder, and they're really in tune with the goal, the mission, the product, innovating it. I mean, I saw that with our founders at Bison Trails, a startup before Coinbase, and then I see that even now. You see that now with Brian Armstrong being a visionary and CEO of Coinbase. It doesn't take much to just kind of pay attention. If you pay attention enough, all these cues really kind of intertwine. So, but and just to piggyback on that, and with this, I'm actually going to It's called a Black Student Athlete Summit. I'm speaking on a panel at the end of May. It's going to be held at USC, and it's literally for this exact thing of having current athletes, current athletic directors, current people in um, faculty and like operations of athletic administration universities across the country. They come to this event. They bring their athletes that they think that really benefit from this, and then someone in tech, lawyers in the space, people in finance, people in sales, people in social impact, people in banking. Like we speak on a panel, we have these breakout runs, and we just tell our story from our transition out of sports, because right? Whether hey, my dad always told me I can only run, jump, and catch for so long. So one of these days that will be over, and then they'll bring in someone younger, quicker, faster, healthier, and I'll have to transition out. So we can just tell our story of how I got to this place, how someone is now working on Capitol Hill in DC, how someone is working on a new product in Web3 then they have funding or something like that. Just trying to just share as much information as possible. That's what the conference is about, and I'm super excited to do that. So that's another opportunity, another way that current athletes going through that transition can definitely benefit. I wish I had something like this when I was in college.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome to hear like what you're doing. And just in terms of just talking to like different athletes and showing them there's like another avenue. And necessarily
Mm-hmm.
don't if your dream is to go professional or like play at a certain level, college, pro, whatever, don't give up on that. But just know that like you have opportunities out here just like outside of that. And like it's a humongous opportunity just in terms of Web3. And I feel like really people really don't. I don't even know how to put it. I don't know whether they really realize how early we are in the space and like how basically like 98% of the map in this Web3 or crypto NFT space, whatever you want to call it, this entire space, like 98% of the map is not complete yet. So it's just
Mm.
like it's an opportunity for like kids to really come on here and put ideas together and
Mm-hmm.
just even in the black community even getting those
Mm-hmm.
kids like over here is an opportunity for you to like really just make something like that could transcend or just the way we do transaction business. But I feel like just recognizing the times is just like significantly just how early you are. I know when I first got in I would hear that all the time, but like actually just going out there just to different events, talking to people like yourself, and just
Mm-hmm.
realizing just wow, it's a mass opportunity out here. So like for me, I'm trying to do everything I can to just let everybody know, just like you want to jump in like now to be able to
Mm-hmm.
say, because then like these companies that people work for, like in terms of like a Coinbase or different things, they could be pioneers, in the
Mm-hmm.
5 to 10 years, and that could just be like, wow, you work for them. That's like somebody would have worked for like Tesla, and like people want to hear about their experience. So it's just crazy, just like the level, just in terms of opportunities, like in this space, like in terms of like, I wanted to transition. Unless you have something to say, I didn't want to cancel your thought or anything.
Um, no, you're spot on. I think one thing that you said, I think my main thing is maybe getting people in tech earlier. Because for me, when I was younger, I was only focused on sports. I was good at it. I like football. I really like football. I love basketball, but I'm kind of obsessed with competing, and like that really gets me going. That gets my juices flowing. Competing, competition,
Mm.
and I'm just trying to think of ways to get like the younger black community involved in it. And like maybe I don't know if it's like if it's an app, a game app, or if it's like literally a part of school curriculum. We're like competing in like just competing in coding, competing in certain tech spaces, competing in building out things. I think that might be like one of the best ways to learn. I, I'm biased, but I think maybe it's not hasn't been deemed like the quote unquote coolest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But and now's not the time to be cool. Now's the time to like this is cutting edge stuff. This is cutting edge stuff, you know,
Yeah.
and it's similar stuff. If you're someone that's going to Miami NFT, you actually see what's being built, right? And if you're a builder yourself, you're like, no, this is like we're on the precipice of something huge here, right? And a la the internet back 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
prior to that. So yeah, that's kind of just my thought there. Like, and that'll be, I think, a way, like some way to implement competition. The same way that there's a basketball court and a football field at every high school, there was something to compete in, like in a technical outlet.
Yeah.
That would be that like everyone had access to it. I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, for sure. I know they had like build-a-thon. That was one thing that was done like at the event where they got into like
Oh
teams
yeah,
and then
yes.
yeah, everybody got their different skill sets. Like for me, I'm just good at like evaluation, like in terms of like projects that I look at. You know, a lot of them is just on some bullshit, but you know, just to,
Yeah.
like in different things. And I might not be the best coder, but I could partner up or team up with somebody within that skill set. You know, somebody that's nasty at the developing, they can code in many different languages, or I can code on all blockchains. All right, cool. Let's all put our resources together. This person might be like the best spokesperson for the group. Just because, like, when you have a project, kind of like what you were saying with the team, like everybody has to play their role. And like I know for specific like projects, they have dedicated spokespersons for the project because like sometimes you might have to, address like an element of FUD or questioning about your project, but you also have to be able to hold your composure at the same time.
Correct.
Otherwise, that could cause like a stir or like cause the value of the hype of your project to go down. So like everybody would have dedicated roles. So like I know for me that would be dope just to even have some type of build-a-thon where it could be like a joint that people apply to, and then from there or just at an event to where we'll do like it could be like a 3-day event to where you build out a whole NFT project. Obviously, you don't have like the entire thing completed, but the map out as far as what you're presenting to like Web3, and then from there could be like judges and different things that kind of just take what they did but do it on a bigger scale. So like it just really depends. It's a lot of innovative ways on just really like how to like you know get that competitive element over to Web3. But yeah, that's just something that I just thought of just now. So it could be something that could be implemented.
I'm with you, man. I think I'm aligned. I'm aligned with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like now, like, do you have any like predictions or just different things that you've seen in terms of like sports leagues, like the NBA or like the NFL, in terms of like, do they have any plans or just things that you've seen as far as them adopting like Web3 or NFTs or like, is there anything that these sports leagues are doing that you see, or like, do you have any predictions on what you feel like you will see in the future?
On the sport with the sports leagues.
Yeah, with the NFL, the NBA, like how would they bridge into Web3 or just things that they're doing if you are just seeing like different things or just your thoughts in general.
Yeah. Um, I'm not exactly sure on what the leagues will do. I think yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the leagues will do, but I think it would need to be even in a smaller like avenue, like not the league, not the full league, but like the teams, and then even like not the teams, but the players.
Okay.
So I know that a couple guys have tried or are trying to do uh, different projects around NFTs, around obviously name, image, and likeness. There was someone I met at Miami NFT, Adrian from Eternity Labs. They do like exclusive like IP rights for their for players and for player NFTs and stuff like that. So I think that is something like right if you're a player partnering with them But even that's like you got to be a big player to have people buy those NFTs, right?
Yeah.
So what I don't know if it's a prediction. I'll say something what I would like to see. I would like to see like, for example, Coinbase. We're launching wallet as a service where like if you pick up that service and like you add that as a feature in your product you'll be able to like launch like a X amount of wallets. So now if I'm down in Miami, if I'm a Miami Heat fan and I can go to like maybe the Miami Heat store and I can launch a wallet on the store website, or and then they say like, hey, they maybe tweet like, we're airdropping like the first 100 people that favorite this or something like that, a Miami Heat NFT, and not even like you can come to the game, not like you can come like sit courtside, because I think like that to a certain degree is, well, that's kind of messing up the money, because we got big sponsorships that are holding courtside for DJ Khaled and Rick Ross and Pharrell and Bad Bunny, like, so like we're not talking about that, but you can, if you do get an airdrop, if you do airdrop your NFT, we'll airdrop it right to your wallet. Show up to the game maybe an hour before, 2 hours before, and you can see shoot around.
Man,
it's different like access. Like, man. I think the NFT should be more around access. Like, or like, hey, like Tyler Herro is doing a Tyler Herro, Victor Oladipo, Kyle Lowry, and Bam Adebayo are doing a private, off-season workout in Miami, like at a gym. Like, if we airdrop you, we'll tell you, like, the airdrop says the address. Man. Pull up and you're gonna see them work out. Like, come watch the elite of the elite. I think that would be cool. Like, airdrop NFTs to get access to your community, people that are really like invested in you and want to see you, and then we'll be able to validate that through the NFT of like, did you get it? Did you not? We send it to this wallet. We know exactly who we send it to. Only this reveals the address. I think from an access perspective, like, that'd be really cool. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. Yeah, and that's all. Maybe that's what I think about NFTs now. To be honest, from like utility access, I don't know how much longer it's like a random picture of a horse, like, or like something like that, like for NFT, you can buy it just because like Justin Bieber's holding it. For what? It's like, nah, I need access. Yeah. A little long-winded, but that's what I would love to see.
Oh, nah, man. Nah, for sure, man. Definitely. Go ahead, man. I actually just like the way you illustrated that as far as like access, just because I just feel like, even NFTs are only operating at like, I think less than like anywhere from like 5 to 8% of its maximum utility as far as like NFT's maximum use case. So like, it's less than 10%. So like once NFTs start operating at like 20, 30, 40%, not even hitting halfway, like I feel like you're going to be seeing some crazy stuff. And then obviously once it gets to 60, 70, like I feel like mainstream will start to come in and like a lot of different other things, even if not well before then. But like, definitely, I like how you put that in terms of like having access, like, cause nobody think about that, like, and even if that idea gets taken, like, you heard it here first, so it's just like, yeah, so it's just like, nobody thinks about that in terms of like, damn, like I can actually get like, a shoot around like access if I buy so many NFTs and be able to like, I don't even know, maybe like just look at the warm up as far as Bam Adebayo and just having a conversation. If I buy like, so much of his NFT just to be a supporter for that player. And then like, I don't know, maybe I can get interest into the locker room with just like different other stuff. Like, so it's just that element of how you put it is crazy. Like, I feel like for the diehard fans, because there are a lot of them out there, and like really like go hard for like players, their favorite team. Yeah. I know people, they will spend that money, they will spend that bread to get access to that. So like, I definitely like how you put that. That's a very solid idea. And I hope I see your idea in the future like come to like fruition where you can actually experience it, because like it'd be dope to have it. I like how you put that in terms of NFTs allow for access.
Right. Exactly, yeah. Exactly, man. The access. I'm even thinking of like, Yeah, man. If you're like Jimmy Butler, not even. That's what I'm saying. Not even. Then you say forget the team. Forget the team. Forget the Miami Heat. Like I'm just. Let's just say. All right. Let's pivot over to football. Odell Beckham. I know he just got signed to the the Ravens, but he was a free agent for like a year plus. What if he just said, "Hey, in his community, all people that follow Odell Beckham, this guy may have 5 million followers on Instagram. If he said, "Hey, I am doing a workout in LA and I'm doing it at the USC Coliseum. It fits 100,000 people. Like this is the ticket. Come watch me work out. Like or this for the first 1,000 people,
man,
buy the NFT. Like just watch me work out. Like I mean, especially the guy like that. I'm only talking about elite level. He's an elite level athlete. I played on the New York Giants. I was a teammate of Odell's. I'm a professional athlete, and even when I see him work out and run routes, even I'm like, damn. I'm like, yeah. I see why they paid you $100 million. Hey, and I'm not too bad myself, and I'm looking at him like, imagine just like to watch him work out 2 hours, just go through the whole thing. That's like the same reason people go to preseason camp. People go to preseason football camp just to watch people practice, not even the game.
Man,
I'm like, imagine if you're doing that for yourself, like just yourself, no team included at all. I think that's like the disruptive builder mentality, access utility that you can build for your own self. I'm seeing this with like you see with NIL deals, brand deals, like. Man, anytime I see someone sign a huge deal in the NBA, NFL, even like just said Odell, $100 million contract, I'm like, these dudes are companies.
Man.
These people are like, Patrick Holmes, 10 years, 500 million? What? This is the company numbers, man.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, man, forget an autograph signing. People come in because even that is still under your agency. Blockchain is giving you access to just build your brand on your own. You create your own NFT. You create your own thing. It's all coming back to you. Man. So yeah, that's what I would like to see from like a sports. Imagine that, just like go see, like imagine LeBron doing that. Just like a high school. If you're in a high school gym, not even the Staples Center or Crypto.com arena, in a high school gym, you just see him. Man, his NFT. There's only. Oh man, my mind is even going even deeper of like, because there's a rapper, La Russell. Have you heard of La Russell?
Oh yeah.
So La Russell, he's from Vallejo, California. He uses a platform where his album, there is no price on his albums. His album is all, what I'm looking for. It's all, you gotta put in a bid. It's all bid based. Like there's only 1,000 albums. It's like no price on it, but you might get outbid. You might not get one. Like what's it worth to you? We'll let you know if you got it when it drops. We're gonna take all the bids and you got it and you did it. So just even like from that standpoint as well. I think all that stuff is a great way for you to build your own brand on your own without saying I can't build without I'm a free agent. Because if you're a free agent, no one's paying you as an athlete. So, I'm not gonna make any money because the New York Jets don't want to sign me because we're not negotiating the contract the way I want. It's like, man, you can still build. You can still build. Because even as time goes on, like your name, image, and likeness is going down. It's just like anything else in the world. If people don't see you or hear about you, they start to forget about you. So imagine if you're still just doing these things. It's like, well, I'm still making noise in my own, at least in my own community. Because even if your own community, if you stop working, they go, hold on, Odell's not the guy anymore? Okay, forget him. I'm going over to insert the next best receiver, right? Devontae Adams. I'm a Devontae Adams guy. So let's see what stuff like that.
Yeah. Man, that's like, even like when you was talking, like I was thinking of something like, it'd be cool it'd be cool to see, cause I already see it, but it'd be cool if they did it for a player to player. Like,
What you mean to play? What you mean?
like I see like on Instagram where they have like the little camera, you can actually see like first person view. So like everything
Mm,
LeBron sees, I see. Like
mm,
if I was him, like I see everything that he sees on the floor, like what routes he's running, what plays he's calling up, he's
mhm,
pointing at this person, like different things. Like if they had like an NFT where you could buy your favorite player and then you can have first person
mm.
view, like
Oh,
that would be
woo.
like the base level in terms of like, all right, you
Like,
gotta buy.
is it like VR? Is it like live VR,
Yeah,
or like you can buy NFC of like when Odell scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl? You can buy the first person view of that.
it'd be like live. Yeah, it'd be
Live,
like
okay, live. Yeah.
yeah, it would be live. So somehow the tech would have to sync up to where like you had to verify your NFT, and then like once you verify your
Mm,
NFT, then you get put into like like some type of pool where it gives you access to this first person camera. But like obviously you have to set up systems because people are going to try to like they would try to bot the system in terms of like giving that footage out to everybody and different things. So like you have to have a way on just layers of protection, but I feel like if that was just something just in itself, like I I'm willing to bet like a lot of college coaches would line up to go buy that NFT. Like a lot of college coaches, like players that's trying to model like LeBron's
yeah.
game and like see what he sees. Like that would just elevate like the fan experience. Cause like I feel
Mhm,
like that's what NFTs do. They just overall just elevate your experience. So like whatever you're
mm,
experiencing now, it just takes it up to a whole nother level with NFTs. That's all they do. And like I think once people like really understand that and like the ideas that you're bringing up, once they see ideas like that coming to effect, it's just like okay, I see it now. But like being this early is just like it's like I said, like that map hasn't been completed. So for some people, they got to see it first, and then they be like, all right, now I'm ready to jump on that wave. But I feel like it would be dope, like personally, if I could see my favorite player in first person like view. It would just give me a different
mhm.
element, and I could just see what plays they run there. I want to like perfect my craft and like what was LeBron like looking at when he was looking at the defender's feet? Like how did he attack them? Like what was his
What
eyes
was
set on? Like
what
all
was
those different things.
right? What was his leverage? What was his eyes doing? What was he attacking? Imagine, to be honest, there's really a whole course that you could even. It's like a course you can give to your community. Not even your community, because maybe a fan isn't trying to be one on one, or zone coverage, right? But like I'm saying, like you brought up a good point. A college coach saying, this is how LeBron gets open. Imagine if it's LeBron from a first person point of view, and then LeBron is also doing he's speaking over it too,
Man,
telling us exactly what he's looking at, exactly what I attack his top foot, I attack that foot, I make sure I try to bump into this guy, imagine he's like speaking about that as well.
yeah.
Same thing with football, like right, like press coverage. Darius Slay from the Eagles is guarding you, but you got to get open. Devontae Adams is talking how he gets open against him. All right, I see you got inside leverage. What I do, I get one hit inside, make him think I'm going inside, and then now that opens up the outside even more where I'm really going. Then I
Mm.
burst out, and it's like, and he's talking through that. Imagine what that would even give to one, the fans, two, like a receiver that's trying to emulate their game after the top, Devontae Adams. Hey man, we might have a use case. We might need to start building something, man.
Oh yeah, man, for sure, man. I feel like it's so much room over here to like do so much innovative like shit over here that it's just like you don't see it out here, and it's just like, yeah, man. I'm always down to like work and like put ideas together, man. But it's just crazy the stuff that you can come up with this blockchain technology. Like when people ask me like what an NFT is, NFT could be anything, anything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just all about what you limit your imagination to. That's really what the
Mm-hmm.
limit is. Like how big can you think? Like if you can
Mm-hmm.
only think at a micro level, then you gonna have a micro level NFT. Like if you can think on a mass scale, then you'll be able to reach a mass amount of people. So like, yeah, it definitely is crazy, man. Just like all the like stuff that you can really do with this technology. Just like that's why I just always go back to like we are so early, and like I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
very appreciative that you know I am here like this early in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like, I plan on being around. I don't plan on going nowhere. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like even like going back to the conference, like, with the fifth anniversary of Miami NFT, the 10th anniversary, and then the 20th, and then the 25th, and then, if this space is still around, to say that you were one of the people that first got
Mm-hmm.
here and like seeing the space like literally grow. I feel like you can't put a price on that. That's why I'm truly appreciative of like the time that I'm in, like in this space. And I feel like if that don't motivate you, I don't know what does.
No, for sure, man. There's definitely something to be said for people being first. I mean, I heard Nipsey Hussle say this as well. Like when this was even, or maybe it might have been about 2017, but just even in terms of like this is like the gold rush a little bit. Like everyone going to California for the gold rush, and
Yeah.
it's interesting though. It's interesting. I'll tell you why. Because even being at Coinbase, two things. One, from a Coinbase perspective, when we went public in 2021, the price of the stock was like 420. When we opened at 350, went up to 420. And with everything that's gone on since then, that was DeFi summer. Things are booming.
Yeah.
It's a different time. And to hear the CEO Brian Armstrong say he's talking about the first time he opened when he first started Coinbase, and when the first bear market came, he was like, "Man, I made a mistake with this with this thing, this whole thing. I
Mm-hmm.
thought this was gonna work, man. This is about to fail." And then they make it through. Man, they made it through.
Yeah.
The second bear market comes. All right, well, we made it through one. Maybe we can make it through another one. Make it through again. So the second one isn't as bad as the first one. The third one comes. It's kind of like, all right, well, he believes in the product, he believes in the vision, he believes in that we need access to get people this, cryptocurrency, to get Bitcoin, to get, whatever else is being built. And he's like, and long story short, at this point, it's like, man, this is a market based company. Like things are gonna go up and down like this. Then he just goes into, well, and ask the people that have been here for the 10 years that we've been around. Like we've seen it from Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin is gone, Bitcoin is this. And today, Bitcoin has passed 30,000.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think even him giving that talk after we have had layoffs in Coinbase, and the market has been down. But just like to hear him say once again, like you got to be in tune with the vision. If the Lakers are uh, under 500, he's not like, man, throw in the towel. He's like, man, whoever's trying to go all out against the Portland Trailblazers tonight, man, pull up. And if you're not trying to do that, then don't show up. So
Yeah.
maybe just getting sports along. I prefer everything back to sports in that way, but I mean that's what I took from it. Like, look, this is tried and true. I've seen this story before. I've seen it over and over again. And at this point, just kind of, let's just keep building. Like going back to the builders, like let's just keep building. Even during this
Mm-hmm.
whole time, it wasn't like, all right, let's just wait and see. Maybe we'll have to just shut down the whole thing. It's like, man, build.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just keep on building new products. But when we do come out, we got to be ready. We got to be ready for so the other builders they can build on top of what we built. Make it easier, make it more efficient, make it smoother, make it safer, make it more secure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I know, like Coinbase, it definitely. I seen just even through this bull cycle, not really gonna get into like the specifics, but like some companies have went down and different things,
Mm-hmm.
but Coinbase has always like been a mainstay. And then what they're doing as far as what I've heard in terms of like the blockchain and base, like
Yeah.
people was even telling me even there at the event, they was just like, "Yo, this is about to blow everything out of the water." So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like the stuff that they have going on. So I think Coinbase is always going to be like a staple. Like I feel like that is like the premier exchange to go to if you want to get like cryptocurrency. You know, some people might say like Binance and different things. I don't get access to Binance, just living in this
Mm.
country or whatever. But it just depends on like who you talk to. But from my experience, like
Yeah.
Coinbase has always been like the head runner. And then you got other marketplaces like crypto.com and different other ones like top exchanges. But I would definitely place like those three in terms of like a different like echelon amongst
Hmm.
like exchanges. Like
You said Coinbase, Binance, and
crypto.com. Like those are three that
crypto.com.
really, stick out to me. You got other
Mm-hmm.
ones like Kraken, and then you got I forget the one. Shoot, I can't even think of it. It lost me. But there's like another
Hmm.
exchange that you can just go on. But yeah, those are the ones that like really like stick out to me. I know something that you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, and then like I know I want to be respectful of your time and everything like that.
Hmm.
But this is like one of my last questions.
Yeah.
In terms of I know you mentioned like Bitcoin and just a lot
Hmm.
of NFL players taking salaries. I forget like the players specifically, but there's been players that
Right.
took salaries in Bitcoin. Now, obviously, depending on when they got those like
Yeah.
salaries, like they took in a hit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously the market's going to go back up. Do you see that as like a something that's going to get more common amongst like players? They were like, well, let me put like 15 or 10% of my salary in Bitcoin. Like you can pay me the rest 90% out in fiat, but I want 15 to 10%. Do you see more players doing that like in the future?
Hmm. Hmm. I only heard about two people doing that. To be honest with you, I heard Odell. I know Odell did that. And he got his salary, I think, for 1 year in Bitcoin, and then mm, there's a lineman with the Titans. He got his salary in Bitcoin. He's been asking for it for a long time. So I'm not sure if that would be a thing. That might be hard for them to do, but maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's easier than I think. um, yeah. Well, with my experience with NFL teams, you get paid in a check and not direct deposit.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's where I haven't received a check in 5 years from the NFL, but I don't know how they do it now.
Yeah.
But I know back then it was all check, so
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. It might be difficult, but I mean, one they should now that I say that they should be moving to direct deposit. That's one. Two, but you know why though? That's another thing. I think they can't do that because there's so much turnover in the
Mm.
NFL. People get hurt, people get injured. At least
Yeah.
this guy, I mean, every Tuesday in the NFL is tryouts for
Mm.
people.
Yeah.
Like you're on practice, you're on one practice field practicing with the team, and the coach is saying, "There's guys right over there that will do anything to take your spot." So,
Mm.
like, and they're literally trying guys out. So, with that being said, that's why they do the checks. But direct deposit, Bitcoin, hmm.
See, I don't know whether it'd be like a thing to where they could kind of have that available for every player, or there might be just certain
Yeah.
tiers of players that might just try to jump into that, like in terms. So it really kind of depends. Because like
I
I
like what you said. A piece of it though, not the
yeah
whole thing. A
no
piece of
yeah
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. A piece of it, maybe.
yeah
I think that'd be great as an option. Because even a lot of crypto companies, I think these people are crypto companies. And their financial advice, their CFO of these teams, they're like they might not believe in crypto, so like that. We're not definitely not even giving this as an option. But a lot of crypto companies you can get paid in crypto. At Coinbase you can get paid in Bitcoin.
mm,
But it's also pushing that. We're pushing that though, right? For our business as well. So
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, definitely, man. I'm definitely going to let you have the last words. If there's anything else that you wanted to like bring up, where can people follow you? Just on Twitter, reach out to you, follow you, different things like that.
yeah, Twitter, C Severin underscore 19. C Severin underscore no, excuse me, underscore 17. And on Instagram, I'm C Severin 9, Severin. And yeah, man, I've been let's see, look, also been making this a lot of this really cool content. I'm biased, but I think it's cool, interesting content from myself and my transition from athletics to tech to Web3 to startup world. All the little nuances that I see are similar, from the founders to the head coach, from the GM to the VC firms, being with the builders. Being with the builders is very similar to like being with the like-minded people on a winning team that are are heading towards a mission. And I say that because I had a coach tell me one time, this is how a team works. This is how you get people to go towards the goal. There's 100 people on a football team. 10 people are locked in on the mission. They're meeting, congregating like, man, how can we get better? How can we improve? What do we need to do to execute more? How can we beat this team we haven't beaten? And what do we need to do to make sure that we can get a little faster, get that extra first down, extra bucket, extra goal? There's 10 people also that are like, man, forget the coach. He ain't this, he ain't that. Man, she's terrible at coaching. Man, why is she starting? Man, why is this? So it's kind of on the negative and discouraging piece. And there's 80 people left. Those 80 people go with whoever whose vision is stronger. Most likely, if you're winning, you're gonna go with the top 10. If you're losing, the bottom 10 gonna be like, you see, I told you. Look what they're starting over us. I told you they're terrible. And I think that is the importance of culture, the importance of the people. Like the people build these things, man. Like even just being at Miami NFT, being at NFT NYC last year, being at Permissionless, it's the people that are building this. And like, you need someone with a vision, you need the builders, and you need a culture that is like just going to continue to keep their feet moving. So that's why I've been loving the space. That's why I think I was a captain at UVA, and why I just enjoy just like pushing people towards that vision. So want to give a shout out to you. I appreciate you having me on. It was great to meet you. I'm excited to keep on seeing your story through Twitter, through us connecting. And we might need to build out that athlete platform, man, for the utility of the access.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. This is Stu from Stu TV. I cover all things blockchain, metaverse, crypto, NFTs, all money making opportunities in space. Catch you in the next one.